Hey guys. So today I want to talk to you guys a little bit about how I became a believer. Um, so let's go all the way back again. I gave you some background on my mom and my dad, and my mom, I think, left my dad when I was around 2. They parted ways. From what she says, he was always a pretty nice drunk, like, didn't beat her or anything, but that he would just leave. Like, he would just go on these binges and he would just be gone. And there she was, by herself, not knowing when he's coming back. He wasn't good with money. I guess he was a really smart guy, a really nice, charming guy, but that he just couldn't get his drinking under control. So, anyways, my mom moves back down to Southern California with her side of the family, which is more the side of the family that I grew up with when I was younger. My mom has 5 brothers and a sister, and um, so that side of the family is Mexican American, and um, that was kind of hard for me in a way, not that because they're Mexican, but because look at me. I'm like super white girl, grew up in Azusa where I was definitely the minority. And I always kind of felt like I had to prove my Latina-ness. And, you know, my grandma and my papa more would speak Spanish, but really, my grandma was more like Chicana, like second or third generation. She still had a little bit of an accent. Her name was Rosita, but she went by Rosie. It was more of that time where you were taught to assimilate. So I know that I'm going way back, and I'm not even going to get to like when I became a Christian. I'm just going to bring you guys up to a certain point, and I don't want the videos to be too long because then you're like, and I don't want that to happen. But I just want to start from the beginning. Grew up in Azusa, Glendora, that area where I was the minority. Everybody was Latino. And it wasn't a big deal, but I would get called white girl. And I would always like feel odd. I wouldn't say that anybody was racist or outright mean, but when everybody in your class is 2 to 3 shades darker than you and you don't speak Spanish and you your last name is Snyder, you feel different. And so don't get me wrong, I'm not saying like I had it hard or anything like that. Like, I understand white privilege. I get all that. But I'm just saying, for me personally, as a child, I was the minority. And that's that. That can happen anyway. So that happened. That's who I mainly live with. And then I think starting when I was 6, I would go and I would see my uncle and my aunt and my grandfather who lived up in Northern California. And they were like the white people. They were like, and inside I had this Hispanic heritage because that's who I was around. You know, we were the Vegas. But then to me, even though I looked more like my white family, they were the white people. They had a nice house. They had, they were still married. They had their stuff together. They went to church. They had a trailer. Like, all these things that none of my family had. Like, everybody, and literally my grandma lived at my grandma's house, like, at one point because they either didn't have a job or they were, for whatever reason, we all came back to my grandma and we're all kind of dependent. And when it was just a total different lifestyle when it came to Northern California. And also just having my uncle around, and just having a man around that was about the age of what my father would be, that was totally different to me. And also Jesus, like, Jesus was talked about more. Um, So that was the beginning. That was the first seed. But I just wanted to share with you kind of my background, and um, I think sometimes why I would feel a little bit confused growing up, because again, I was always made fun of for being pale. Even my own cousins would always say stuff to me like, "Girl, you need to get in the sun." And I used to hate it. I used to hate being white. I wanted so badly to be darker. And I tried to learn Spanish. Like, I actually learned Spanish than cousins that were much darker than me, just because I wanted to prove that, and to fit in. But it didn't help that I went to high school in like Southgate either. But that's another episode. So I just wanted to share with you kind of my ethnicity and my experience growing up, and just how even you can be a Caucasian person, but you can be biracial. You can associate yourself with one certain culture and look a completely different culture. And so the way people treat you is different. That's that. Don't mean to be on a soapbox. But I'm wondering if there's anybody else out there that's had an experience like this. If you have, let's talk, because I always kind of feel stupid. I always kind of feel like people aren't going to validate that experience for me, and I don't think it's fair. So, on that. But anyways, that's just a little bit more about me. Please, I'm loving all the interaction that I'm getting, the messages that I'm getting. Please contact me and let's talk. Bye.